But that's what they have to work through. That's their own shadow that they have to work through and work with. Because I feel like they're recognizing, beginning to understand that they want better for themselves, and that they can be better for themselves, and that the way that they were living, again, they're calling me back to The Greatest Showman and Zac Efron. It's like they thought that's all there was. They had almost resigned themselves to that version of them, but that's not all they're capable of. And their soul is urging them to be the best version of themselves. And that does not mean perfection. The best version does not mean perfection. It just means the best version in that moment. Consciously making the best choices that you can. And anytime you make mistakes, it's being aware of it, making amends for it. And that's where you take accountability. That's where you take responsibility in order to make amends. You say, I'm sorry. You, to yourself, to others, you forgive yourself. You have compassion for yourself. That's where you allow yourself to take accountability and say, you know what, I fucked up here, but I'm going to make a conscious choice now to do better, to not repeat the past. That's true consciousness. And again, you're human, so it's not about perfection. You're going to make mistakes, but it's about being aware of those mistakes and course correcting. You can always course correct. It's when you get into pride and stubbornness and resistance that you keep replaying and repeating the same loops and over and over and over and over. And that's the stagnation, right? But you can break free. You might not even realize that you're in a cage, but you can break free. And once you break free, you realize the door was always open. And I feel like the Divine Feminine, that's where the lock and key comes in. The Divine Feminine has always had the key. And the Divine Masculine is beginning to understand this. That the Divine Feminine was not holding the key to lock him in. The Divine Feminine was holding the key to set him free. And what's interesting about this is that's what the Divine Masculine did for the Feminine. At the activation of her journey, the Divine Masculine liberated the Feminine. That's where she began her ascension cycle. That's where she began her ascension journey. And she, rather than resisting it, she leaned into it. And again, that's what made it so difficult for the Divine Feminine, because she kept looking at the Masculine like, come with me, journey with me, I want to do this with you. But there was such resistance from the Masculine. But Feminines, you had to go through this journey on your own. You weren't on your own. Your Masculine was always there energetically, maybe even physically in some ways. Your Masculine was always there with you, but you had to recognize that within yourself. You had to recognize that self-empowerment. You had to recognize your own inner masculine. That was your journey home to yourself. That was your journey to union. But your masculine held the key for you. You held the key for each other, and that's the sacred union. There is so much emotion. Like, I want to cry right now. There's so much love and so much emotion that is pouring out for both of you, for each other. Imagine the amount of unconditional love it takes for one soul to say to a lover, to another, I love you so much that I will activate you to the hardest journey of your life, the journey home to yourself. And I will mirror you, and I will show you your shadows, but I will also show you your light. But you have to be willing to look in the mirror. You have to be willing to look at yourself. I love you so much that I will be the enemy, that I will be the shadow. I will be the mirror for you. But only when you have the courage to look at yourself, you will see the light that shines in both of us, the love that shines in both of us, the love that shines for each other. Imagine the amount of unconditional love it takes for your souls to have said that to each other. That is unconditional love. It takes immense courage to look at your shadows, but it's only then that you're able to see the light. And you hold that key of light and love for each other. This union is a sacred one. It is a sacred journey.